will win Paris 2024 Football Olympics transfer season we're about to discuss in Start Bench Sell Youngsters Edition, okay? Comment down below the Start Bench Sells that you'd like to see. But yes, how are you doing, Bretson, in this special episode?
I'm doing awesome. Olympics are in full swing. Silly season. We've been talking about it for a while, but it's in full swing for sure. And we've got friendlies. And that means that every city in the United States has a different Premier League team in it. No matter what you think about it, I think it's pretty cool when all is said and done. But hey, the Olympics, we got to bring it back. Brings the world together. We're all watching it. And football's been pretty special too. So is that where you'd like to start?
Completely, Retson, because who will win Paris 2024 Football Olympics, okay? Is it going to be the States? I watched that France-States game, and look, you guys are going to go through, but France, right now, are the favorites to win the competition. Do you agree?
I don't know, man. I feel like Spain is killing everything these days. They're in the U19 Euros final right now. They've got the U23. Think about the players that are not there for their U23 squad. Lamine Yamal, obviously Gavi's injured. Pedri is not there. I mean, think about these players and then think they are currently unbeaten, right? So I don't know if I can bet against Spain coming off all the ridiculous stuff that they've already done this summer.
Breton, me and you, since we've spoken to each other, we've known about Abel Ruiz, Sergio Gomes, and Juan Miranda. How many times these three players have played together for their national team? Under 17, under 19, under 21, and now under 23. This team grew together, especially Juan Miranda, Sergio Gomes, and Abel Ruiz. If you're a stats man, let us know how many times they played together for the national team. It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad. And
it really is.
Great job done by Spain to Spain. I love Fermin Lopes. I love Baena. I love Pablo Barrios. All elites. Midfielders. And we know, because we saw the Euros, what was the engine of Spain? That midfield. And it's the same in the Euros. So, yes, they're contenders completely.
I'll throw it out there. I'll throw it out there for you. Here's my medal placings. I'm going with Spain winning the gold medal. I'm going with France, the hosts. And we have a conversation about that to come. But the hosts as silver medalists, I'm going to have Japan, I think the best team right now. They have a bunch of, they're the only ones that took a U23 team, right? They elected to take nobody over age. And at the same time, they always tend to play with a phenomenal strategy. So Japan is third place for me. And then I'm going to say it. I think the Americans are going to come back. I think they're going to make it not onto the podium, but they'll get fourth place, lose that third place game. I think they've played well enough that they can maybe get there. But there's something, Alex, that flies in the face of all of this. Flies in the face of all of this. No European team has won the gold medal since 1992 in Barcelona. And that is a big deal. You've got Brazil 2 times, I think the last 2 times. Argentina 2 times with Messi part of that. Neymar was part of it when Brazil won, I believe, in 2016. Then you have Mexico, and I remember that being a massive deal for them. Mexico, and then who's the one I'm missing? Is it Nigeria? It's an African team. Cameroon. Cameroon won it. So all the way back to 1992, Barcelona was the last time a European squad won a gold medal. And here we are. You're picking France, it seems, and I'm picking Spain.
I'll go France or Spain. But my third, I'd go Argentina. Even though I agree with you that Japan has the best collective and they play really good, not individually, but as a group. But I have to go with these 3 nations. For me, the best 3 nations in the Olympics: France number 1, the host nation; second, Spain; and third, I go with Argentina, that has players like Julian Alvarez, Thiago Almada, Echeverri on the bench. I was like, oh my days, they even brought Echeverri. Oh, so it's good to see the amount of talent that is in the Olympics and not the main players. But I saw a comment, CBS Sports Golazo. I love your page. I think you guys are amazing for what you're doing, especially the Champions League show. But I saw a pundit say that Olise was one of the best players to play in the Olympics. That is cap. That is a lie. That is not true. It's simply not true. Michael Olise is not one of the best players to play in the Olympics because we've had Neymar in the past. We've had Ronaldo in the past. We've had Messi, Tevez, Pirlo, Guardiola, Eto'o, Salah. All players ahead of Olise. So, mate, do not say that live on television in the States. Please.
No, but I will agree with them that Alexander Lacazette, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and Michael Olise as the front trio of France it's seemingly unfair for a U23 tournament, right? Olise very clearly is one of the best in the tournament, if not the best. It feels weird that he's even playing this, but he's qualified. Yeah, but Julian Alvarez is over 23, one. And two, he hasn't really impressed me so far, frankly. Argentina hasn't impressed me, and I don't know if you watched that opener, but Argentina-Morocco.
Yes. Crazy.
What the heck happened there, sir? I walked away thinking the game was over. The game was equalized.
Exactly.
2 hours later, they had to play 3 minutes, man. Yeah. But Morocco is another team that could come out of there because they've got Bilal El-Khanous. They've got Amir Richardson, who I know could have been playing for the U.S. team as well, but he has done very well for Morocco.
And the captain.
They've and the captain, yeah, Rahimi.
Hakimi.
Yep. Hakimi. And I'm sorry, the guy that's been scoring all their goals, Rahimi up top, has been very good. Yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Morocco, I could see them on the podium as well, although I have Japan there. But France, Spain, Japan. The other team that is one of, I believe, 4 that are still unbeaten after 2 games, and that's Egypt.
True.
Okay? Don't know many players on the Egyptian squad. They're very insular. They all play at Al Ali. They all play at various places. But they also tend to have very, very good teams when it comes down to this Olympics. So I don't know, but those are 2. But I'm going to back my American boys. I think Tanner Tessman is going to get it done with them.
And Kevin
I think you're going to see.
We've interviewed him. Watch here at FC Wonder Kid. FC Wonder Kid, Kevin Paredes. That happened, and now he's captain of the U.S. team in the Olympics. It's beautiful to see. Beautiful. I love it, Breton. I love it. And Eki Fernandez with Argentina. Like we said, that not the main players are being selected with Argentina, Spain, and France. We can see these youngsters shining. We say with Olise. We say with Sergio Gomez with Spain. Well, not really a youngster. Pablo Barrios with Spain. And we say now for Eki Fernandez with Argentina that we see a lot of chatter for the summer transfer window. Eki Fernandez leaving Boca Juniors. A name that you have to remember, people, okay? Great box-to-box midfielder that plays for Boca Juniors. And hopefully he goes to Benfica to replace Roneves. But Renato Sanches will be the case. But we'll talk more in this podcast more ahead.
But also, you're talking of names that you got to remember. I believe it's a former Benfica player, recently former Benfica player, right? Who is the goalkeeper for Japan, correct?
Leo
Kukubo.
I know him, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen him play many
times. 2 clean sheets, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2 clean sheets. He's made some key saves for them. And you gotta love that. I looked him up. I'm like, I know this name, and it's because I've seen him on Benfica's roster. I believe he just made a transfer to the Pro League. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay, that's probably where I know it from. But
1 or 2 games, not a starter, but always the first player in the first goalkeeper on the bench, basically. Always.
Okay. Well, I see he made a transfer to Sint-Truiden, STVV. In the Pro League, which is a good next step for them. Anyone that's been following STVV has seen Mati Smets take a step up to Genk, whereas Matthias Delorg has moved to Ghent. So Leo Kukubo could be next there, but he will be their starting goalkeeper, I believe, heading into the season. So that was a really interesting kind of roster find for me. But I'm going to go back to Paraguay for a second. Not back to, but talk about Paraguay for a second.
Because of Gomez.
Because Diego Gomez, I think, is also one of the best players in this tournament. And he is I think he's on the cusp of making a move to join fellow Paraguayan star, Julio Enciso, to join him at Brighton from Inter Miami. And Diego Gomez, without a doubt, with Messi injured this season, has been the best player for me for Inter Miami. And he deserves this move wholeheartedly. And they're not going to get in the way of this move. But at 21 years old, when they needed a bounce back win, They got it because of Diego Gomez and maybe future Brighton teammate Julio Enciso. So if you didn't know Diego Gomez before, I think at the end of the Olympics, you're going to know him very, very well. And you'll see him in the Premier League this summer.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Paraguay, we'll never forget. Roque Santa Cruz, Man City, Blackburn player. And now we see Enciso. I remember you told me Enciso most possibly will be the top Premier League goal scorer of Paraguay if everything goes right. If everything goes right. Paraguayan goal scorer in the Premier League. Better phrased.
Still 20. Still just 20. And it was just tough. We had that great first half season for Brighton, scoring the goal of the season. Then he got injured, was out the majority of last season, came back pretty late. But this coming season, I think you can expect Julio Enciso to not only just be catching Almiron or whoever it is, Roque Santa Cruz, whoever it is that is the top Paraguayan goal scorer in the Premier League. I think he's also going to be one of the top scorers for Brighton this season, maybe even double-digit goals. So somebody to watch. Still just 20.
Very interesting. And my predictions for the Olympics are Spain to win it, France in second with the silver medal, and third, I'm going to go for the collective of Japan to get that bronze medal. So France, Spain, and Japan. Yes, those are the teams that are going to get medals, in my opinion. But let us know your predictions down below at the Olympics in football. Go bold and like this video for more videos just like this. And now transfers.
Yes, sir.
Our top 5 transfers that we have preference towards because we like them, okay? We like some people more than others. It's life. But we will discuss other transfers that are meaningful in this video too, and have the liberty to comment down below any transfers that we will answer on YouTube, okay? That comments, and yes, like this video for more videos just like this about transfers.
100%.
So, Bretson, let me ask you, do you have Leny Yoro in your top 5? Because he seems injured right now.
He does seem injured, doesn't he? We're hearing what, one month, 2 months. I mean, also Rasmus Winter Holland going out relatively injured after that friendly. Wasn't much of a friendly versus Arsenal. But yeah, I did. I have Leny Yoro in 5th for me because while it was a chunk of change, while it was 60 million plus, while it was from a business perspective, kind of like it was something. Manchester United made it their hell-bent signature of the summer. They needed Leny Yoro. The funny thing is with him injured now, I guess maybe you could put in 5th place their chase of Matthijs de Ligt on top of this. But Leny Yoro still 18 years old. I mean, he has shown enough for Lille that we do believe he will be special, very special. Already one of the better Ligue 1 defenders, and just 18 years old. I think he's also mature for his years. So I believe he still deserves a spot in the top 5 transfers so far this summer, though I think he will be pushed out by the end of the summer because we're just starting.
I'm with you, Bretson. I had Leny Yoro in 5th because of the symbolism and the statement that it was for Man United to get a player like Leny Yoro. And we knew only 1 year left in his contract, and to make that pull of the trigger to get Leny Yoro, that was bold from Man United. But let's wait and see. Because in Impact, he could be our number 1 in 2 to 3 years' time. We see the same video and we're like, why wasn't Leny Yoro first? Because he became the best center back in the world. That's the dream of every Man United fan that is currently saying that Leny Yoro is better than Saliba, better than every center back in the face of the earth. So Man United fans, I'd like to see you guys backing Leny Yoro because he has that talent to be the best in the world. That's a fact.
He does. It's just, that's heartbreaking to hear that injury news. It's early, but of course he's injured. So that is 5th for me. Who's 4th for you?
4th for me, I'm between 2 players, Bretson, because I believe these 2 players are dignifying to be my 4th place towards my 4th place. And my favorite transfers I've seen until now, I have to pick 2 players, and I'm sorry, people, but you'll understand. They went to Bayer Leverkusen, Martin Terrier and Alex Garcia. Why they're both 4th? Because no one mentions them now, and they're gonna be mentioned when Bayer Leverkusen is going to be contending to win that Bundesliga title again. I'm still not going to say that they're going to win it for sure against Bayern, but I think Martin Terrier and Alex Garcia will elevate the style of play and the way they play with Bayer Leverkusen, and they're going to be tremendous signings for this team. Wirtz won't leave. Yeah. Xhaka won't leave. Boniface won't leave. A lot of players won't leave Bayer Leverkusen, and we have Martin Terrier coming. That is an underrated player. Okay, not at Lyon, at Stade Rennes. This man scored so many goals when he did one step back going from Lyon to Stade Rennes. And then Alex Garcia, that just the same, he went to Girona and he proved to the world that he can be a Spanish national team player. So that's why I'm so incredibly hyped to see Alex Garcia and then Martin Terrier at Leverkusen. And please get Arda Güler on loan. Oh, it makes so much sense if Arda Güler goes on loan to Bayer Leverkusen and then the following season he's coached by Xabi Alonso that replaces Carlo Ancelotti. Maybe I'm dreaming, maybe I'm not, but I'd love to see that.
That's the first time even hearing of that connection, but man, I would love that too.
Güler,
not gonna lie. I would.
Oh,
that's the first time hearing of that.
Big here in Europe.
Okay. Right. It has not found its way to the States yet, unless somebody could prove that to me. But that is interesting. I actually like that, and I love the fact. Okay, a lot of people, hey, first time getting this Champions League money, or in a while, you got Simon Rolfs making these types of decisions. But I love that they're not pulling the trigger on spending massive money. At the same time, we're going to hear maybe a little bit further up this top 5 transfer chain, some of the players that Bayern are bringing in. So it is really interesting, the contrast between the two. And I've mentioned it before, but my fourth place, I'm gonna go with two because I can't pick between the two, but they're in different leagues. Okay, I'm going to go with the bargain basement striker signing in fourth place. I'm going to go with Serhou Guirassy for Dortmund. I know a lot of people are looking at it and feel that, I mean, come on, after last season with 27 or whatever it was, 27 goals in the Bundesliga in like 27 games or 26 games, this guy only goes for 18 million to Borussia Dortmund, who need him, who absolutely need him, and they're probably going to let go of Yusufa Moukoko on loan, and it's that release clause, that dang release clause coming in that unfortunately keeps Stuttgart from getting paid really, really well. Long story short, though, you could make the argument that he might be only a one-season wonder. I don't think that's going to be the case for Dortmund. I think Dortmund's the great next step for him. So Guirassy, for me, is the Bundesliga fourth place best top transfer so far this season. But I'm also going to throw in there Alvaro Morata for 13 million. I know his wages make that a whole lot more expensive. I understand that. But Alvaro Morata coming in with Olivier Giroud leaving, with who we know underneath Alvaro Morata is going to be there in terms of Francesco Camarda. I believe Alvaro Morata will wind up being one of the signings of the summer, especially when you take it pound for pound what the transfer fee is to bring him in the door. So while I know people are very on the fence and conflicted about Alvaro Morata, I love it. So he's fourth place as well, sharing it with Guirassy.
You're bold, mate. That is bold because this could be a hot topic. But I'd put maybe the manager ahead of Morata with Paul Fonseca. But let's wait and see, because people are going to say Portuguese bias by me saying just this. But let's wait and see if that is the case. And just going with what I said with Martin Terrier, for Stade Rennes, he had 75 goal involvements in 141 games. A player that knew his position in the squad, and many times he even came off the bench. The bench. And at Bayer Leverkusen, these are the expectations: to have an immediate impact and have an effect towards the Bundesliga title.
He is coming off an injury, correct?
Yes.
Large injury?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And that was the only thing I think that kept his fee so low, because he has been so industrious. And I think a lot of people were expecting like Enzo Lefebvre to like fair. Take over.
Million.
You think that's fair? 20 million? I mean, I think that's pretty low compared to what he has done for Rennes. I think coming off, if he wasn't coming off an ACL injury, I think he'd be
I feel
higher
it's
than
22, 23. I agree with you. But since he's above the age of 25, I think 20 million for the risk that can be involved, I think it's a deserved fee. Desiree Doué, on the other hand, because he's under 20, under 19, for sure 50, 60 million. But Martin Terrier, that's why he goes to Leverkusen and he doesn't go to a Chelsea and Arsenal, and he goes to the right project with Xabi Alonso. But let us know down below. Do you think the fee is correct or not with Martin Terrier? We would love to know your thoughts. And now, Breton, how are you thinking here with a third place?
Third. Oh, gosh. This one was really, really tough for me because I kind of understand what's going on with Aston Villa, but I also kind of don't understand what's going on with Aston Villa. They're spending a lot of money because they're bringing in a lot of money as well. I mean, we saw Moussa Diaby just go to, I forget which team it was. Was it Al Ittihad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for 60 million. I mean, that helps, right? But the joint signing of bringing in Ian Maatsen and bringing in Amadou Onana for 110 million between the two of them. I applaud the ambition. I don't yet really know if it's going to translate, but once again,
I think it will, Breton.
This is Unai Emery.
The best left back in the Champions League, 40 million to leave a Premier League team to go to another. He's
I'm with you.
Young.
I'm with you.
Onana, one of the best defensive mid in Premier League. I think it makes sense.
It's true. It's true. It does make sense. It's a lot to make sense of. But it's 110 million. And I am, because I have them in third, because I have this kind of class in third. I believe that they will be humongous parts of this season. I am not giving in to my negative side of my brain when it comes to their spending. Now, what I don't understand when it comes to this, them being third, I don't understand the other half of their spending so far this summer, right? Philogene, I think, is intriguing, but like bringing in Lewis Dobbin, spending 65 million on players that I guess are depth mainly. It's interesting to me. It's really, really interesting to me. You've got Lewis. Well, between Lewis Dobbin.
60.
Between
I understood 60.
No.
Sorry.
Between Samuel Eiling, Lewis Dobbin, Cameron Archer, Jadon Philogene, and you've got Enzo Barrenechea, who I think will wind up being good. All of those guys cost a little over 70 million euros. All of them.
Together.
And that's not even counting Ross Barkley yet, who I think is the best depth name out of all of those names. But Amadou Onana, Ian Maatsen are statements of intent. They're statement of, hey, we're in the Champions League. We mean to stay here. And that in and of itself is impressive. It's the other half that has me like, wow, what's going on? We're not even a month into the silly season, and they've already thrown.
We're going to the end.
But they've already thrown 100. No, we got a whole month. We got a whole month.
Well, the Premier League starts. The Premier League clubs can spend more, and if the Premier League clubs can spend more, it does matter a lot.
No, they can spend more. They can spend all the way. They can spend.
Liga can spend. Serie A can spend. Saudi Arabia can. Well,
hold on. The transfer market goes until the end of August.
For Premier
it's not
League
August
clubs,
15th.
No. It finishes
it's not when the Premier League starts.
It does finish when the Premier League starts. It did last season.
I'll look it up right now. There's no way. There's no way.
It did last season.
No way.
Mate. Come on, you don't remember that. That's why a lot of
when did that change?
It changed last season.
Oh,
you should know this,
It did change.
This is pretty big. But
I'm looking.
But going with what you said too, and I think the listeners should know this because it's a fact. The more organized the club is, the better results you will have. Aston Villa did a lot of business really early. Why? Because they have Monchi and Unai Emery that are two people that clearly have the intent and know how their style of play has to be played. That's why they're paying 60 million for Onana. They're paying 40 for Ian Maatsen because that's the money that's being said. Look, you guys want him? That's what you have to pay. We know of the interest of these people. But it's just doing the structure, put it in place, go to preseason, get these connections, and build a strong squad as fast as possible. So the teams that do business earlier than others are the teams that perform better. And I think United, that's why I was so impressed by Lenny Yoro and I have him in my top 5 because they did it early. And I was like, wow, United doing this type of business early? I am shocked. So I think it's good.
Okay, well, I got to push back on your thing. It says here August 30th, Friday, August 30th.
Oh.
So either they changed it back or whatever. But so now you've got me extra confused. But no, they don't got 2 weeks left. They got a month left. This is just starting, in my opinion. So at least I think so. And I bring it back to the fact that Villa's already thrown out 176 million to new players. 176. Got 60 of it back from Diaby. But yeah, no, I agree. It's massive statement of intent. But I'm interested. Who's your third place then?
My third place is a player that I think completely changes the contender to actual real contender to win it. And I know it's not presented. It's Ricardo Calafiori. Calafiori going to Arsenal, it makes too much sense not to happen. And I love to see it now there. Okay, Julian Timber could play that position, but we know Calafiori is a guaranteed player that can show results next to Gabriel Saliba and Ben White. And Arteta right now, I hope he's in phase 5 to win the Premier League. Now's the moment. He's got the team, and I think Declan Rice will have a new partner in crime in midfield next to Odegaard too. And I think the defense will be better than last year because Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, and Raya, they've played together. And now they have that left side finally sorted with a better defensive option than Zinchenko. So Ricardo Calafiori is my choice in third.
I like that. I like that choice, even though it hasn't gotten over the line yet. He, I think, was already on like a private jet going to London,
Fabrizio.
Right?
Come on, Fabrizio.
It's happening. It's happening. It's already been here we go, I believe. Well, I still don't know. I mean, there's a striker away, no? Don't they still need a striker?
I agree. They completely need a striker. Need a striker.
And the midfielder, and it's kind of like that's where my issue with Calafiori to Arsenal lies. Although I do believe if he's going to be playing left back, it's really interesting to me. But if the deal is there and you can get him, I guess you do it as long as it's not at the expense of you tracking down the striker that you need. Right. To go from contender, maybe contender, definite contender, because they were contenders last year, to like out and out. Right.
And for the people,
going toe to toe with Manchester City.
This season, it's 1 month. It's until the end of August.
Okay.
You're right.
I thought I was going insane because I thought I read it somewhere, but then I remembered that they had shortened it, and then you making me insane, sir. All right. Well, my number 2. I don't think this is really that crazy, but Bayern is very angry. I've mentioned this in previous podcasts. Bayern is angry that they lost, obviously. They're angry that they didn't get really anything done that they expected to get done last season, even after splashing the cash on Harry Kane. Bringing in Michael Olise, not just Michael Olise, but also João Palhinha, that's great. But Michael Olise in particular, for me, that's true stuff. That's great stuff. I think with us, it's really just whether or not Olise stays healthy. But yeah, if you join that Bayern regimen, I think you're going to be absolutely fine moving forward. They also have other question marks beyond him, whether or not Alphonso Davies stays. It doesn't necessarily seem like it, which opens up new issues. Obviously, the development of Pavlovic in midfield. There's all sorts of things that kind of do need to go right, but they're keeping and a phenomenal team together. They just need to get the chemistry right, and we'll see if Vincent Kompany knows how to do that. But Michael Olise, the back half of that Premier League season was one of the best in the Premier League. Not best U23s, was one of the best in the Premier League. Obviously, he's bossing the Olympics right now. So we'll see if it translates. I absolutely think it will translate to Bayern Munich. So that's why he's my number 2. Just protect this man, please, because I see that Bayern has already lost one of their other signings, Hiroki Ito, with a broken foot for 2-3 months, easy, in one of their friendlies. So protect Michael Olise. Maybe don't have him play for the next month or so. I don't know. But Michael Olise is my number 2. Best transfer so far of the offseason.
Well, and we agree. I've got Michael Olise second. It's interesting here because, yes, Michael Olise has that effect on Bayern Munich that we believe he's going to have, and I'm not going to say a Jamal Musiala type importance because I think Jamal Musiala is a quite unique player for Bayern Munich since he came up from the system. But I do believe Michael Olise will arrive at Bayern Munich, and in his first season, he will be definitely top 5, top 3 players in terms of importance in that team. Offensively, they will need it. They will need it.
Think of it this way: when you have Leroy Sané on, or you have Serge Gnabry on for Bayern, like they are in form. They do exactly what I believe Michael Olise can do consistently.
Exactly.
They can't do that right now. Michael Olise consistently can provide a creative outlet that right now really only goes through Jamal Musiala when it comes to that kind of like, what are you going to do? And just that type of attention alone paid to Michael Olise should, believe it or not, free up Jamal Musiala to do 15 and 15, I'm calling it next year. Easy, 15 and 15.
And if they get Xavi Simons, it'll be Xavi Simons, Michael Olise, and Jamal Musiala. Who can contain them? So going from Sané, Gnabry, Musiala to Olise, Xavi Simons, and Jamal Musiala, that is a clear upgrade. So good point right there, Breton. And that's why he is our second place, both. But underrated, and I thought you'd mention him because I think you really like this player, was Atletico getting Lenormand. I was surprised.
Yep, I do.
I was surprised. And if Atletico gets Lenormand and David Hanko, those are two terrific signings. Two elite center backs that start and are underrated in our point of view. So Atletico, good business with those two center backs. Hanko,
it is. It's great business. I think them letting Morata walk, that was interesting. I don't think Atleti is done yet, but I am very excited. Yeah, and Depay, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Who's the striker?
But I'm really Omorodion. Okay. Omorodion, the young kid, Samu, who was on loan at Alaves last season.
But they're trying to sell him, supposedly. Or Chelsea wants to buy him. Or that's the news that I'm listening to.
So who's it going to be? And I believe they also offloaded or about to offload João Felix. Is that correct?
They're about to sell João Felix, Atletico de Madrid. And they tried to sign Artem Dovbyk too. That's if Artem Dovbyk went to Atletico de Madrid, that would make a lot of sense. But the news says that Roma is pole position to sign Artem Dovbyk and Matthias Sule. That are two terrific signings. If it happens with De Rossi, amazing. But yes,
Sule's another one I wanted to throw on here, but the Douglas Luiz is another one that I kind of was thinking, like, come on, Juve has been slowly trending upwards when it comes to this.
I put Thuram ahead of Douglas Luiz. I put Kefri Thuram for next season in terms of importance ahead of Douglas Luiz for Juve.
That is bold. That is bold. That's, I mean, because, he didn't exactly have the transcendent season I think people were expecting of him with all of the prying eyes on him last season after he had been, it was Liverpool, right? It was, who else? There were like 5 massive teams that wanted Kefren Thuram for a little while. And then it pulled back some, right? And I think all the eyes were on him. And while he was great in Ligue 1, he was kind of like, I don't know, it was just kind of a ho-hum season. But doesn't discount the fact that you get him in the right system.
Exactly.
You get him, obviously, with, I have no clue why I'm... Thank you, Thiago Motta.
Giantoli making this decision, speaking to the player before, knowing what he's going to get. I'm telling you, people, listen to us here at FC Wonder Kid. I 100% say this with a lot of conviction that Cristiano Giantoli is definitely top 3 sporting directors in football right now. Knowing agents, knowing how to recruit, and knowing how to work with a manager. We saw it at Napoli, and having a sporting director that can do these 3 things is unreal. And I think that's right now at Juve. So Juve, bullish signs. I think Juve is going to win. But that's a prediction video that we can do in future. And we will do in future. Most definitely. And yes, Nico Williams hasn't happened still. João Neves hasn't happened still. That's why, at least myself, I don't have him in my top 5 favorite transfers until now. But I have a question before I say my first bet. That it is.
Okay.
Will Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alphonso Davies sign for Real Madrid as free agents next summer window?
Oh my gosh. If I were Liverpool and I were Bayern, I would hope to heck not. One of them. Let's hedge our bets because I'm boring. I'm old school. I actually hedge on a routine basis. I'm going to say one of them will, the other will not. And I think it will be Alexander-Arnold. that is allowed to walk.
Because Bayern Munich, towards heritage, towards convincing players to stay, they do have a better track record with Thomas Müller.
They do.
Bastian Schweinsteiger staying until he's 30, Philippe Lahm. And then you have Liverpool with Stevie G, Jamie Carragher, but it's not the same.
Yeah, no, and this Arne Slot, I mean, it's not going to be for everyone. This new regime with Arne Slot.
True.
I think Trent Alexander-Arnold might already feel like he's on his way out with this. So, but like with Real Madrid, it's a slam dunk.
I believe both.
Get him, but
I think Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alphonso Davies next summer, more likely than not, will be wearing a Real Madrid jersey. I really believe that will be the case. And if they sign Florian Wirtz and Xabi Alonso too, in that same window, it will be as impactful as getting Mbappe and Hendrik. Because that is a mad list of names. Trent, Alfonso, Florian Wirtz, and Xabi Alonso. That's trying to destroy Lamine Yamal, but I don't know what's going to be built on the other side because that's going to be a monster. That's going to be a monster to stop this too. But yes, Breton, Mbappe is your first?
I mean, Kylian Mbappe is my first, but come on, it's the worst kept secret over the last 2-3 years. Gone is the dramatics of it all. Gone is the whatever. I mean, it feels like something that we've known has been coming. So it feels a little weird putting it here, but you can't. Come on. I mean, La Liga is coming up in what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 3 weeks? Something like that.
2, 3, yeah.
You have to be intrigued to see how Kylian Mbappe looks, right? Not just walking out with a number 9, walking out at the Bernabeu, but more so how he coalesces, how he cohesively, potentially fits in to what Carlo Ancelotti is cooking, how he fits in with Vinicius Jr., whether or not it pushes Rodrigo out, we do not know yet. There's just so many interesting things afoot, not to mention how it all happened. I mean, we know he's getting paid a very nice signing bonus, a very nice whatever, but come on, the optics of this are that Kylian Mbappe, quote unquote, took a pay cut in order to play for the most iconic brand on the planet at this moment. And that, in and of itself, has me fully intrigued, and that's why, he's number 1.
No pay cut. One step back to go 5.
It's not really a pay cut.
It's not really a pay cut, marketing-wise.
It's not really a pay cut.
But what I gotta say with Mbappe is, why is he my first? But why is Mbappe my favorite transfer until now? Because his dream became a reality. And I really believe, I've said it in previous podcasts, I believe Mbappe has the dream to win with Real Madrid a Champions League. And right now, they're favorites because no squad on earth is better than Real Madrid. So he most certainly has to win that Ballon d'Or and Champions League. So that will be amazing to see. But just wanted to tie in Hendrik fast. Hendrik, in terms of importance, you said Rodrigo being pushed aside. I think Real Madrid first season will have Mbappe, will have Vinicius. I think Real Madrid next season will have Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Rodrigo. But the people that say Hendrik is gonna be not gonna develop a lot, he might be going on loan. You guys clearly do not know ball. You don't know ball because Joselu, he played how many games? How many games in your mind do you think Joselu played in La Liga last season? He played 34.
20?
34
there
games.
You go.
He had 15 starts. So if Hendrik has the same output that Joselu did, that cost 2 million and was very important in the Champions League and in other moments too, that's already a positive for an 18-year-old that just moved to the biggest club in the world with Real Madrid. So my expectations are 34 games in La Liga, 15 starts. If Hendrik can do better than this, fantastic at the age of 18. So people, don't put expectations of Hendrik for the same as Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo, because that's not the case. But instead, put the expectations of the direct replacement he's having in the squad. With Joselu.
Man.
Just
Once upon a time, we were having the Endrick versus Vitor Roque conversations. My, how those have fallen by the wayside. And don't get me started on that.
I have a bet with my barber that Endrick is going to score more goals than Vitor Roque next season. I guess I'm going to win it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you are going to win it.
I guess I'm going to win it.
Or he could get sour and, I don't know, make you go bald prematurely. But that's that's tough. And Vitor Roque, I mean, potentially even leaving. That's going to be really interesting as well.
No,
but
I just get a free cut, mate.
I mean,
I just get a free cut. I'm not going to go bold.
Yeah. Well, other ones, obviously, us being Brighton guys in terms of really loving their transfer style. Obviously, Roberto De Serbi being gone, new guy coming in, Fabian Hertzler, who is loosely American. No, he's American, which will be a lot of fun for me to watch. We already mentioned in the Olympics, Diego Gomez probably coming in the door, but from a shrewd signing perspective, one I really wanted to put in the top 5, but I didn't. Matt Sweefer. I mean, you and I have really loved him since he came onto the scene in at
Excelsior,
in the Eredivisie, at Excelsior, and then at Feyenoord.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both of us were shocked that maybe, not that Brighton's not high profile, but that a higher profile team did not necessarily snap him up when he clearly wanted to make that next move. Yeah, so
Feyenoord, 30 million?
30 million. Yeah, 30 million.
For a player that,
Brighton,
let's be honest, he's important, but I think other players that have left Feyenoord, like Kokshu, he left for less than Matt Sweefer, and Kokshu was considered the best player in Eredivisie, 22 to 27. Right. So Matt Sweefer, the fact that they signed him as a replacement for Freddy Korsens that went to Benfica for 15 million, Feyenoord signed him for 500,000, and 2 years later they're selling him for 30 million. Like, that shows the amazing project that Feyenoord have now. Amazing team. Yeah. Santiago Jimenez, he's going to leave for more than 50. No doubt. And if he leaves,
where?
Igor Paixão's there. I'd say Tottenham.
I know, but why to not? Where?
Tottenham. Just get a striker.
I know.
That's quick solution.
I think the curtain's going to be pulled back on Santi Jimenez a little bit this coming season. I don't know. I'm not convinced he moves. I'm convinced he should move, but I'm not convinced he does move with Feyenoord. But yeah, Feyenoord's got to lock and reload again. I'm actually worried for Geertruida and Kalinci Hartman are two guys that I could see also getting plucked away from them this offseason if people are smart. David Hanko as well.
And because we're talking here in the subject of moving or not moving, the last thing on my end with transfers is, will Man City sell Julian Alvarez?
I think, to be honest, it's if he's throwing out the inkling, right? Pep has been very, very clear on the line. If they don't want to be here, if I get the sense that they don't want to be here, I'm not going to stand in their way. And I think Julian Alvarez, if he wants more playing time, he needs to leave. I think they will sell him. I do.
I dream, Breton, so hard that Barca can sell Frenkie de Jong and Ronald Araújo, and they can sign Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, and Julian Alvarez. I really hope that can happen, but I know it's a dream. It's not a reality right now, and Lewandowski wouldn't want that to. Lewandowski wouldn't want that to.
But Atleti is looking for a striker of sorts, probably somebody that's also a little versatile, so it could be a place you find.
I think so. But they have to spend. It'll be 60, 70, 80 million type realm to convince City to sell a player like Julian Alvarez. That, look, they signed him for 20 million before people were as aware of him as City obviously were when they signed. So I like to see good scouting being paid off, and they get Echeverri 2 seasons after. Oh my days. But let us know, what is your top 5 best transfers you've seen until now? And yes, until the end of the window, we will change our answers, most definitely, because a lot of deals will happen in the Premier League until the end of August, everywhere until the end of August, people. Sorry for that little mistake, but let us know down below your choices and like this video for more videos just like this. And now, Breton.
Yep.
Because I like to put you in tough positions. That didn't sound
I'm terrible.
Good. That didn't
That's terrible. It's okay. It's I get it. I get what you were trying to say there as invading or as invasive as it felt. But no, listen, anyone that's listened to us on this podcast know that I have a trouble having really high conviction takes. I'm not Alex on this end. And these start bench sells, these are going to throw me for a loop, sir. I don't know what to do with these.
And everyone that you're listening, comment down below before we say our answers, okay? That is evidence that you can be saying, you said this, you said that. You can have an opinion, but let us know yours down below, please. Please, people, okay? We will love to see your thoughts. So start, bench, sell, Youngsters Edition. We both had this one. Yes. Lenny Yoro, Pau Cubarsí, and Jarell Hato. How are you feeling with this one, Bretson? In terms of potential and form. Both. Both. Potential 2 to 3 years time and form that we've seen until now.
Yeah. I need to... okay, Jarell Hato, I need to see a whole lot more of before I feel very confident. I've watched him quite a bit, but I need to see him a whole lot more this season. So as of right now, I'm going to sell Jarell Hato. It comes to me down to Lenny Yoro, who I've seen a lot, Pau Cubarsí, obviously, who we've seen a lot, and they're different players. They really are. They're very different players. I do favor, like Lenny Yoro can potentially have it all. Physical nature, IQ, ability to progressive passing, ability to win aerial duels. Pau Cubarsí can have like a whole lot of that and be very, very good. So I am starting Lenny Yoro. I am benching Pau Cubarsí, and I'm selling Jarell Hato. I'm pretty comfortable
start
with that.
Pau Cubarsí, and I'm gonna sell Lenny Yoro, and I'll sell Jarell Hato. That I understand he's one of the captains of Ajax, and Ajax in a very tough position, and we know that these three players have world-class potential. But Pau Cubarsí for me isn't the right team to show that potential, and I think long-term, and even though if at the start of the season Barca starts Christensen and Ronald Araújo, I'm still going to be putting Pau Cubarsí because I believe the potential of this player is to be the best center back in the world with Barcelona that we've seen with Puyol, we've seen with other names, well, at least being one of the best, and I believe that he'll be in that conversation.
Isn't it crazy that like the moment a Pau Cubarsí breaks through or a Pedri or Gavi, there is no other team where when somebody breaks through that you're automatically saying to yourself, I could see them in a Barca shirt the rest of their lives. You know? True. Like that doesn't happen with other youth academies, with other clubs. It just doesn't feel that way. I mean, maybe back in the day with Manchester United, but it is really, really amazing to me that, I can see the same thing. I could see him becoming the best. It absolutely is. It's just a testament to what they've built and what they're rating right now because, well, then again, what's his name? Said that they're on good financial footing again. So either he's gaslighting us. Laporta. I don't know why I just blanked on that. Obviously, I know who Laporta is. Yes. But either he's gaslighting us again to think that they're doing that or, he's found some money. So we'll see if they start spending it.
I think he's going to sell Rafinha for 100 million. But let us know if you think that will happen or not. I think he knows who's going to leave. To Saudi, Branson.
Saudi, oh my. Saudi Arabia, what the heck?
Well,
60 million.
Listen, changing.
60 million. I love Moussa Diaby, but 60 million for Moussa Diaby, I would take that any day of the week. Assuming that actually gets paid.
It makes sense.
But 100 million for Rafinha.
Well, there's banks there. There's guarantees.
Wow.
But yes, interesting with that. And wanted to say at this video, I felt the need not to put Gavi. I feel it's not fair to put Gavi because of the recencies with injury, and we have to see the potential after we see what he can perform right now with the injury he's had. Okay, people? But I wanted to have Hendrik against other people. So people, suggest in the comment section, who should Hendrik go against? Rasmus Højlund, Vitor Roque? I'm starting Hendrik ahead of Vitor Roque, most definitely. So comments, who should Hendrik go against in future videos of Start, Bench, Sell? Do you have one for me, Bretton?
Yeah, I do. You know what? We'll start you with a little bit of a layup potentially. I'm gonna call it the Premier League U23 DMs edition here. Okay. We're gonna go with new Villa boy Amadou Onana.
Okay.
We're gonna go with Manu Ugarte, who very likely is gonna be signing with Manchester United, but it is not over the line. And then we're gonna go with somebody that's a little bit divisive right now, based on how he ended the season and how he started the season with Chelsea, Moises Caicedo. So Onana, Ugarte, Caicedo. Start, bench, sell. Go.
Onana, Ugarte, Caicedo as a defensive mid. Start, bench, sell for next season in the Prem. I'll go bold, and I'll start Manu Ugarte. I think he's going to fit really well next to Kobe Mainu. I'm going to bench. This is one that I'm going to bench Onana. And remind me, start, bench, sell, please.
Caicedo. Onana, Ugarte, Caicedo.
See, the thing with Caicedo is Maresca will play a good style of play. Yeah, no, I'm going to say start Ugarte, bench Caicedo, and I'll sell, unfortunately, Onana. Even though I think Onana will be very important for Aston Villa, I think Caicedo will fit the style of play on Maresca, and I think Ugarte's going to be fantastic next to Kobe Maino next season in the Premier League, if it happens. So it's hard. That's a hard one because all three have very different attributes, but when we compare position, I think Ugarte will be the best defensive mid.
Right.
Damn.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Damn. Okay. That was pretty good for off the cuff. I mean, Ugarte, I have him benched. I've got, believe it or not, Amadou Onana starting. Amadou Onana, I think next to Tielemans, I think he's going to do very, very well for Aston Villa this season. And yes, I'm going to sell Moises Caicedo. While I believe he should do well with Maresca, I think there's going to be a lot of openings, a lot of goals being scored against them. I don't think they have their defense. I don't know how you can say you've spent almost $1 billion or more and you still don't have your defense figured out. Right?
Yeah.
I think Moises Caicedo is going to be biting off more than he can chew, more than he's capable of. I sell him simply because of where he is. I don't sell him because of the player I think he can be. I think from an Ecuadorian perspective, I think at some point, Ecuador long-term are going to find their way into the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and I am going to just cheer for them because I do have a soft spot for some of these Independiente del Valle, for Kendry Páez coming through, for a lot of these guys that I think can do very well in this golden generation that they're building. But I think Moises Caicedo is just still in the wrong place.
And would you still sell Caicedo if Caicedo was against Kobe Maino and João Neves?
Oh gosh.
I'd sell Caicedo still. I'd 100% sell him.
Yeah. But again, that's probably because of where he is currently. I think Caicedo...
I don't think
so. Anywhere else. So Mainu, João Neves, I mean, they're both in interesting, very good situations for them, right? It's just if you take Neves out and you put him at PSG and he winds up getting Ugarted... Is that a verb? Did I just make a verb?
He won't be.
I don't think he will either, but you got to worry about that for somebody that I think Ugarte is going to take the Premier League by storm too.
I think
I probably would
is
still
more.
Caicedo.
That's the thing when I was justifying Ugarte with Caicedo. I think it's not as good because Caicedo is more of a ball conductor, and when you think of Ugarte, it's a lot of the tackles, interceptions, that job that no one in midfield wants to do when they have that creativity of João Neves, Kobe Maino, and maybe Caicedo too. He has very good glimpses going forward. But look, it might be polemic. It might be a bit, let's say, polarizing. But look, I start João Neves. I'd bench Kobe Maino. I know he started for England and he's an incredible midfielder, but I still think João Neves is going to be insane in the next 10 years in football. João Neves and Vitinha will destroy the Champions League. And Vitinha is one of the best midfielders in the world already. Premier League fans that say he's not, you clearly do not know ball and do not watch PSG and the Champions League football too. And I'd sell Caicedo in this instance too. So I just wanted to say just that. Wanted to mention it.
PSG has a lot of work still to do, though, in my opinion. Not just João Neves, but that defense too.
Bretson, PSG, if we're going to see it on paper, PSG's midfield is as talented as Barca's with Pedri, Gavi, I'd say Warren Zaire Emery. João Neves. And then you see Fabian Ruiz he's not a youngster, but you can say that in terms of youngsters, they have the names. Vitinha's 24. That's why I blanked. That's why I couldn't put Vitinha in it. But he's considerably young.
And Ruiz is on a couple short lists, right? We might see him move. But anyway, back to start bench sells. I've got one for you. This is a striker one.
Okay.
Before I forget it. Okay. Rasmus Winter Holland, unfortunately injured. We'll see how long that's going to be, but it's muscular. Benjamin Sesko and Victor Boniface, who you say is staying at Leverkusen, which I think is the right move.
I'll start Victor Boniface. I think he's the best striker out of these three. I'll bench Benjamin Sesko, because I think he's a phenom, and I'll sell Rasmus Winter-Heulen, that I think he's going to have a tough job starting ahead of Joshua Zirkzee too. Both will play a lot of games and can play together too. But Boniface, he starts when he's fit 100%. He is the man, not Patrick Schick. Yeah. So Victor Boniface, I think he's the best out of these three players. And the one that has the toughest one to start for his national team. Come on, starting ahead of Ozzy, mate, that will not be easy. No, at all.
No, it won't. But if Nigeria keeps playing the way they play, maybe it won't be that bad. But yeah, I don't really have any changes there. I am interested that the winds have kind of shifted for you on Rasmus Winter-Heulen. I still think... Well, I thought you were a whole lot higher on him previously. Am I wrong? Okay, you're still high on him, but
I never thought
not higher than Sesko or Boniface.
Yeah, I never thought he was better than Darwin. So
got it.
I was high, but not as high as saying he's better than Darwin. Or
I would have thought his transition to Manchester United would go a whole lot more smooth. But then again, nothing went smooth for Manchester United last season. So if you get any sort of consistency out of them, he could be the one that breaks out. But then again, we didn't really see it for Denmark either.
True.
So still waiting for him to do this, to get it done. But hey, as a side note here, it's really interesting that all the Heulen brothers have made their moves, right?
True.
One is at Schalke, and the other one, where did the other one go?
Werder Bremen, or was it Wolfsburg?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know which one. But what is that Schalke? Comment section down below. Let us know. We're blanking. All right. Well, that was an easy one for you. I thought that'd be harder than it was. Okay, you got one for me, sir?
I definitely have one for you, Bretson, between Arda Güler, Xavi Simons, and Cole Palmer. A start bench sell based on form and potential with these three players.
Oh, gosh.
I think the one is justifiable easy. No?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. The thing is, I haven't yet found a ceiling for really any of them. I mean, the closest one I think that might be to their ceiling is Cole Palmer.
Agreed.
Believe it or not. Okay? But with that said...
Arda Güler, Xavi Simons, Cole Palmer.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, like, I feel like Arda Güler, at some point we're going to run into something with him from a physical perspective. I'm going to start Xavi Simons. I'm going to bench Arda Güler. And I'm going to sell Cole Palmer because I don't think he's ever going to... I think he's the highest value he's ever going to be.
And the potential of Xavi Simons and Arda Güler, you believe, is higher than Cole Palmer's?
I do. I do believe that, yes. I do. I think Xavi Simons in the future... slot Cole Palmer. You let me know when Cole Palmer's doing this, what he's doing, which is insanely impressive, and I rate him. And we're talking about little inklings here, right? Little things that are putting Xavi Simons and Arda Güler on top. A potential I'm overweighting 100%, but Cole Palmer, you take him out, and he's doing this for Real Madrid, or he's doing this for Man City. That could have been a possibility. He's doing this exactly, or he's doing this at like Bayern Munich or something. Do this in the Champions League, then you've got me converted. You've got me converted. But until then, you are a investment, and that investment has never been higher.
Bretson, I like it. And the fact that I think Arda Güler and Xavi Simons one day will be sharing the pitch in El Clásicos. Okay? 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 years time. I think Arda Güler is destined. So we're starting for Real Madrid one day, or being involved at Real Madrid. And Xavi Simons is destined the same thing at Barca. I believe both have their paths crossed. But Bretson, I'll go with Cole Palmer.
You're starting Cole Palmer.
I'm going to start Cole Palmer. I'm going to bench Xavi Simons. And Turkish fans, I know you're going to go on top of me, and I have to be ready. I have to sell Arda Güler, even though I agree with all you Turkish fans and Real Madrid fans that he has world-class potential. And he's very special. But Cole Palmer and Xavi Simons, I'm going to put them ahead of Arda Güler.
It's weird. Like,
it's hard.
Xavi Simons... Right. Xavi Simons turned up for the Netherlands. Arda Güler was phenomenal for Turkey. I think they shook off their underperforming thing where we all get excited about these young guys, and then Arda Güler said, nope, this is real. This is happening. This is reality. Turkey's on the page.
When he
Cole
could.
Palmer does turn up for England for sure. It's wow, yeah, when he could. Wow. That was a tough one. Well, I've got one really, really, really tough one for you.
Oy.
Maybe to end on. We'll call this right wingers.
Okay. The last one to go difficult as hell. Let's go, Betsy. Woo!
Bukayo Saka, Lamine Yamal, and Rodrigo.
Bukayo Saka, Lamine Yamal, and Rodrigo start bench. Barca fans are going to love me, and Real Madrid and Arsenal, they're going to hate me. I'm going to start Lamine Yamal. I'm going to bench Rodrigo, and I'm going to sell Bukayo Saka. Rodrigo, for me, he's always going to have space at the highest stage in football. He's here. He's extremely talented, and he's top 3 right wingers in the world of football. I love Rodrigo Goes, but Lamine Yamal's already down at 17.
Yeah.
How is Lamine Yamal already down at 17 is mad for me. And I have an exercise, Bretson, that I wanted to do with you. That is Lamine Yamal versus the right wingers of the world. You say Lamine or you say the name of the other player. Okay?
Okay.
Lamine against Estevão of Palmeiras.
Oh, Lamine.
Lamine against Garnacho.
Lamine.
Lamine Sané.
Lamine.
Lamine Rafinha.
Lamine, yeah.
Dembele.
Lamine.
Olise.
Lamine.
Saka.
See, I have an issue with this one because Saka is much more. Dude's been turning it out for 5-6 years.
If I'm picking a team, 11 aside or 7 aside tomorrow between Lamine and Saka, I'm picking Lamine.
I get it. We're not picking a squad player. We're picking a right winger. I get it. Exactly. If we're going right wing, I still go Lamine. Sorry. I mean, Bukayo, I see him so much more than just kind of a right winger.
Too. And Lamine against Rodrigo, you still go Lamine?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I do. My only issue with Lamine is
you still go Lamine.
What? That's insane. No, I can't do that.
That he's the best right winger to pick in football.
I will not.
That's why I just wanted to do this exercise because me personally, Bretson, I pick Lamine in front of Estevão, Garnacho, Sané, Rafinha, Olise, Saka, Rodrigo, Salah. I pick Lamine over everyone because Lamine at Barca destined for greatness in front of Ballon d'Or, and he's in the right place. It's gonna happen.
I know the exercise, and I agree in some way, but at the same time, it's discounting obviously the body of work Saka, Salah in particular, Rodrigo, they've all built. So it's really, really tough. But you're right. If you have to take an out-and-out right winger, put him out there right now, based on what we know, based on what we've seen the last 6 months, yeah, I'd probably pick Lamine Yamal. You're right, 100%.
It's mad what we're seeing. And Lamine, to be fair, he's won the league at 15. Saka still hasn't won the league.
He won a friggin' Euro, dude. He also won a Euro.
Exactly.
I mean, it's Spain in of itself. Yeah. Those ones get me. Well, I had fun doing these. I don't think I don't have any more on my end.
My last one would be Garnacho, Nico Williams, Barcola. Who would you pick between the 3-star bench? So I'd start Nico Williams.
Yeah. I would start Nico Williams. I'd probably bench Garnacho. I like Barcola.
I'd bench Barcola, Breton.
You would over Garnacho.
Yep. I think Barcola is a youngster that has slept in the world's biggest stage because he went to PSG and he's a baller, just like Vitinha.
Yeah. Part of me feels like I've seen right wingers like him come and go in Lyon and then fizzle out, and we'll see. We'll see with it. So I'm not as convinced as you are on Barcola as it's clear. I think maybe I wanted to see him stay at Lyon a little bit longer. Him at PSG, you've definitely seen some glimpses of what he can be. Mm-hmm. Same with Garnacho. I'd like to see it consistently. I'd also like to see him. I wish he got a little more time at Copa America.
True.
So I understand. I understand what you're saying. I still would bench Garnacho and sell Barcola. I think a lot of it is I'm developing maybe a little bit of an annoyance with PSG players, kind of underperforming their expectations, just period. Barcola is one of the few
at PSG
that is not underperformed.
Then we see Fabian Ruiz in Spain, Ugarte in Uruguay.
Exactly. They all play better outside of the PSG construct.
The only player that I don't say that is Vitinha. Vitinha played phenomenally for PSG and phenomenally for Portugal, just like Nunes. I can say both. When he's not injured, obviously. Because, injuries have taken the best out of Nunes, unfortunately. But yes.
Yes. But it's true. Like, come on. Dembele, Donnarumma. There's just a lot of...
True.
Jeez. There's a lot of it with me.
Next season.
That will change.
I think if they get Desiree Doué, I think PSG next season lines up with Barcola, Osimhen, and Desiree Doué in January, February, when the season is peak stage.
Anything with Desiree Doué in it, I'm watching. Hopefully that bucks the trend of my annoyance with PSG. Hopefully Desiree Doué, he's special. I really enjoy watching him.
Last question, Bretson, with Desiree Doué. If you were Bayern, who would you pick between Xavi Simons and Desiree Doué?
Gosh. Still Xavi Simons, proven entity. That he can do it. I mean, I believe in what Desiree Doué can bring to the pitch. Whether or not he can do it consistently has not yet been proven. But I think Xavi Simons has proven time and time again. Doubt me at your own peril, and let's go. And I think Bayern needs that. I think Bayern rewards that. I think Bayern at times has been that, right? Like that has been their DNA, and especially in the Champions League, if they want to get that over the hump in the future, if you want to get Harry Kane,
the curse is real.
If you want to get him a trophy, you probably need Xavi Simons and not Desiree Doué at this moment.
Bretson, it was Coleman winning every year, or it was Kane winning one trophy. Who won was Kane. No, one between not winning. You know what I mean? So that was the force that prevailed. Kane not winning a trophy. That comment down below if you think that will be the case. And I agree with what you said. Xavi Simons ahead of Desiree Doué, but insane winger, okay, people? Because yes, having Xavi Simons, Jamal Musiala, Olise, all switching positions nonstop, that would be phenomenal to see. And with Doué, he's very one-sided winger. And look, it works for him being at the left, but it would be better to watch Xavi Simons. I
think the bigger question long term is whether or not Vincent Kompany is going to be up to the task here. So that's what I'm watching with a buttered up old tub of popcorn, because it is intriguing that they simply said, "Yeah, let's do it. We watched you with Burnley. Let's get this done." But it's a new Bayern. It's a new era.
But let us know down below your start bench cells. Suggest to us start bench cells that you'd like to see here at the podcast. Thank you so much for listening to it until now, FC Wonder Kid community, to the podcast. Like this video for more videos just like this, and go bold community. And thank you so much, Bretson, for another video.
Yep.